Welcome back. The Department of Justice has filed a new lawsuit against Harvard. The DOJ contends that the university violated the law by discriminating against Jewish and Israeli students. Harvard is denying those allegations. The suit is the Trump administration's latest effort to claw back federal funding from the elite institution. Joining us now, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, Florida, Dave Ehrenberg. Dave, there's been lots of twists and turns with this saga between Trump administration and Harvard. A couple different times it seemed like there was going to be a deal, perhaps not. Now there's this new lawsuit. Tell us what you know. Do you think there's any merit to it?
Jonathan, good to be with you. You know, I've got my 30th law school reunion next month. I'm sure this will be a big topic of conversation there. Oh, thank you. I'm getting old. Thank you. This is the sequel to Trump's previously unsuccessful fight against Harvard. It's much more dangerous this time around for the school, though, because last year Trump tried to use executive power to freeze Harvard's federal funds. And there was a judge, Allison Burroughs, who stepped in and kept the money flowing. She said, you need to go through a whole process before you can turn off the spigot. So the Department of Justice has spent the last year checking every procedural box. They've opened up an investigation. They provided a formal notice of violation and now a 44-page federal complaint. They cited violations of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act and breach of contract. And the government's case is that Harvard knew that Jewish and Israeli students were being harassed, assaulted, and excluded, and yet Harvard chose to respond with deliberate indifference. That's the standard here for Title VI cases, deliberate indifference. The government is trying to box in Harvard with its own reports because much of the evidence in the complaint comes from Harvard's internal findings from its own anti-Semitism task force. But that's a double-edged sword because the reason why Harvard created this task force was to identify and do something about this very real problem. So you could argue that under President Alan Garber at Harvard, it's been the opposite of deliberate indifference. And Harvard's also going to dust off its successful arguments it made last year in court before Judge Burroughs that Trump hates Harvard and this is just a pretext for punishing them. And also, what does Alzheimer's research funding have to do with undergraduate campus protests? But there's a different judge this time, and it's too early to say who's going to win round two.
Dave, it does sound like that the fact that they had put effort into a task force to combat anti-Semitism takes away the indifference argument. But how do you see this landing? Do you think that the allegations in the complaint have validity?
I think two things at least can be true at the same time. I think Harvard was deliberately indifferent at the time to these campus protests, the fact that the protesters were harassing Jews, excluding them from campus activities. At the same time, Harvard has a case that this is a pretext. You're using anti-Semitism as a way to punish a university that you hate. And also, if you rule for the government here, this could set a precedent for using civil rights laws to bankrupt research institutions. So there's a lot at stake here. I do think that Harvard has a good defense here. At the same time, they're not totally without blame.
All right. Former state attorney for Palm Beach County, Dave Ehrenberg. Dave, thank you again.
Thank you.